So today you join me visiting my good friend Oli Davies up at his place, and we have got something very special planned today, Oli, haven't we?
Good to see you, Jay. Thanks for coming up.
It is good to see you too, mate. It's good to see you. Now, I've been following your social media, Oli. We stay in touch as well, and Oli has been doing some fantastic work. Now, Oli, you are a pro angler for Nash.
Yep.
You're the person that's responsible for bringing us urban banks and Euro banks.
One of them, yeah.
With
team effort. But
team
yeah,
effort, well, you know, a vital part of the team. I know for a fact that the bushwhacker, you've been pioneering the bushwhacker because, you know, I saw you using the bushwhacker and look how big that's blown up. But you have got a new piece of equipment that you've been using over the last 12 months that I've seen you put into good use.
It's a bit longer than 12 months.
Is it really,
yeah? I've been testing it for a few years now.
Testing it for a few years, yeah? Do you want to unveil the secret, yeah? But
yeah, mate, well...
It's one of these, isn't it?
Simple litter picker.
Simple litter picker.
Yeah.
And you've been carrying this around when you go fishing or in your free time, going out onto the rivers and lakes and just picking up some litter, yeah? Just taking a few minutes to pick the litter up. And it's been making, like, one thing I've noticed, Oli, is that it's been making a huge difference to the waterways that you've been on. When I see the pictures of like what it was before, and then after you've just done a little bit of litter picking, it's just amazing what you've been doing in your spare time.
I'm by no means the only one, Graham, but, you know, I try and do a little bit to keep the places that I clean, that I love clean. You know, I think I'd be a hypocrite if I just walked past it or grumbled about it and did nothing. So I try and tinge that negativity with a bit of positivity and making a difference. And we can all make a difference. We can all do a little bit. It's not that hard, and it's very rewarding to come back afterwards and find somewhere, you know, that's clean and beautiful.
Exactly, and that's what we all want to see as anglers.
Absolutely.
Do you know what? That I am actually buzzing about getting out and doing this, and it's because, you know, for me, being around water, being around nature, is part of being an angler. You know, I've been an angler all my life. I hate seeing litter and you know, pollution, litter, waste, whatever you want to call it, you know, around our waterways. And to feel that I'm going to get out there and we're going to go and have some fun today, pick up a bit of litter, fill a few bags up, yeah, maybe do a little bit of fishing afterwards. And it's just, if we all do that, you know, out there, if we all just take 5 minutes at the start of a session or at the end of a session, just make sure you take one of these litter pickers, put it inside your rod bag. You know, they fit quite nicely inside a rod sleeve, don't they? You can stick it inside your rod bag, have a few bin bags inside your rucksack, and off you go. So where are we going to hit up today then? Where's your...
Well, we're based in Watford here, and I'm quite lucky that I've got a lot of water around me, canals and rivers. So we'll take a little trip out locally, find somewhere. I've actually picked quite a lot of the place, but there is plenty of rubbish left.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll go and fill a couple of bags up, and then I'll take you fishing.
Sweet, we'll finish these brews and we get on.
A carrot and a bit of stick.
A bit of carrot and a bit of stick, yeah?
That's it, mate.
Let's go, man. Right, so we're on our way to our first location. Just parked up next to the church, and we all, and the old bells are ringing for the saints to go out there and do some litter picking. But
yeah, this is my local canal. It's within walking distance of my house, pretty much, at Grand Union. Just to the left here.
Nice.
And yeah, it's a lovely bit of canal. There's lots of rivers flowing in and out of it. It's super clean, but sadly, like everywhere, it suffers a little bit of an issue from people dumping rubbish. So we'll clear a little bit today and make it a bit better for everybody.
Nice. Right, so let's go on the Grand Union. Here we are. What a beautiful stretch of river or canal this is, eh? Yeah, nice. Well, I've just walked probably about 200 meters of the most beautiful stretch of canal imaginable. It is absolutely gorgeous, and the good news is it looks like someone has gone through there and actually picked up some of the litter before we arrived. So well done to you out there. If that was you, big pat on the back. But me and Oli are just going to get the gloves on, get the litter pickers ready, because there are quite a bit of there's pockets of litter as we go down here that's been missed, and we're just going to go and highlight how much litter is around on the canal here. But you know, to start with, Oli, like, that was quite promising what we saw, wasn't it? You know, like,
yeah, I mean, it can feel like you're on your own sometimes and nobody else is doing anything, but yeah, there are other people out there who are cleaning up, so yeah, you're not alone.
But this spot here, we've just found a nice, I say nice, it's really contradictory, isn't it? Because it's horrible, but we found a spot that's got quite a bit of litter, so we're going to get picking and we'll show you what we collect in just a second. You can see I've already filled quite a big bag of rubbish inside this bush here next to this bridge. There's all sorts of crap that's been thrown either over from the road or the walkway, or from people walking down the footpath here. But I've just found my first bit of line, so we've got some fishing line. Please remember out there, we've got the National Line Recycling Service. If you've got any fishing line, if you're respooling your reels, just get your line, put it into an envelope or a bag, and then take it down to your local tackle shop, or you can even post it straight to the scheme itself, and then this will be turned into recycled material used for notice boards, benches, shelves, you know, useful products which can be made out of recycled fishing line. So I'll put a big shout out there now to National Line Recycling Scheme. I'm going to stick this in my pocket rather than put it in there, and send it up to the guys once we're done. Well, you can see the beautiful canal boats behind me, stretching away on the Grand Union. You've also got behind me Oli picking up a load of rubbish, and just behind me here, that bridge, that is where we started picking up. So we started picking litter up there, which is about 50 yards away from us, and unfortunately, I hate to say, we've already picked up 3 full bags of litter, some of which is anglers litter. A lot of stuff is poo bags and other just basically stuff that should be going into the bins, but people are just chucking it away and littering our countryside. It is appalling. But I've just having a chat with Oli, and if we can just spend a few minutes, you know, if we could fill up 2 rubbish bags each when we go fishing, which, trust me, we've done that in about 15 minutes, we can all start to make a difference. And it is worrying, because something that this has highlighted to me in the first half an hour of doing this is just how much litter there is around the waterways in England. And this isn't an isolated case. This isn't a case that this stretch of water is particularly bad. I've been speaking to Oli, and he said actually this is good compared to a lot of the places that he's found around this area. So we're going to keep on picking, but yeah, make sure you take your rubbish bags with you, your litter pickers with you, and just spend a few minutes each session just picking up some litter and doing good for the environment. It's just unfortunate that there's just no way that you can pick up everything that's in here, like all along the back here. Just trying to get the main bits along the footpath, but it's a shame. It really is. Look at all this stuff here. More bags just stuffed in here, look. Look, there you go. So that's fisherman's waste that they've decided to stick in there. Well, I say fishermen, they shouldn't be called fishermen, because you are not a fisherman in my book if this is what you do with your rubbish. You know, you are not a fisherman. You are someone that goes and wastes your time next to the lake or river using the excuse of trying to catch a fish, but you cannot classify yourself as a true angler if that is what you leave. Whoop. Whoop. Right. Now, Oli, this looks like an absolutely beautiful fishing spot with a stream coming in here, float going into the main flow.
It's beautiful. It's a pucker spot, and this is all anglers' rubbish here, sadly. I say anglers. They look like they're here having a drink and that, but
I was just saying on a bit of footage that I was doing over there that, you know, you can't say it's anglers' rubbish, because I can't call someone an angler that leaves stuff like this all over the riverway, you know.
You know that we've got a package in there that sadly tells us who has done this, really, but yeah. Anyway, let's clear it up, mate.
Yeah.
And,
get going on to the next spot.
That's it.
Right, Oli, that's our bit done on the Grand Union. I think we've been here for probably 45 minutes, and we filled up all the bags that we brought with us.
Yeah, I only bring sort of 2 or 3 bags with me, because otherwise you can get stuck into it. And look, I think you need to point out that it's not something that you need to spend all your time doing.
Yeah.
Just a little bit of time.
Yeah.
Occasionally, every little bit helps. I mean, we haven't changed the world today, Gray,
No.
but we have made this bit of canal a little bit better for everybody else.
Exactly, and what we have done as well, we've spoken to a few of the people that are walking along the canal. They've taken interest in what we're doing. We've explained that we're fishermen, we're down here, we're trying to clear the canal up for other people to use, not just anglers, but people that are cycling their bikes along here, walking, you know, using it for recreational activity. But like you say, we can't all change the world, but what we can do is just go and pick a little bit of litter up and make it a bit of a better place. But
I mean, look, we can moan about it, we all moan about it, we all notice it, but I think it definitely gives us a little bit more power to actually have cleared a little bit up. You know, we deserve to moan about it now.
Exactly. If you do go out there and you are going out and you're picking up some litter, and if this has inspired you, please do also use some of the hashtags like Keep Britain Tidy, Take 5, which is the Angling Trust campaign, Anglers Against Pollution, any of those little hashtags, because it's really important that we do this as a collective, that we show our might together, and it's not just sort of seen as just being a few individuals that are going off and doing this. We honestly can make a difference, people. So let's all get out there, get behind this, and make a bit of a difference. And also, like, if you're going along and you're baiting up, like if you're taking a bucket of bait to go and do a bit of pre-baiting or something, and you go and put that bait in, on the way back, just go and put a bit of litter in there and go and put it in the bins. Do you know what I mean? It's that's all it takes, people. That's all it takes. Anyway, next stop, where are we going next, Ollie?
We're off to the River Gade. We'll pick up a little bit more litter, and then we'll reward ourselves with a little bit of fishing, G.
I like that. Go and pick up some litter, and then the fish gods will be looking down on us. Hopefully catch a few fish from the river. Right, let's go, bud.
Right, mate.
So this is our second location of the day. We've got the River Gade behind me. Ollie's already picked downstream here. It is a beautiful, beautiful river. Clear waters, streamer weeds, and we're going to go upstream and clear the next sort of 100 meters or so. It's an absolutely beautiful spot, this, but unfortunately, as you can see down here, loads of litter left all along the riverbanks here. And again, this isn't just anglers, you know, only a small proportion of the litter is anglers, but
it's actually free fishing, G. So
it's free fishing, is it, this spot?
Yeah, it's a beautiful little bit, and it's such a shame, you know, that people abuse it. I did clear up a load of anglers rubbish a couple of weeks ago. Thankfully it stayed clear, so yeah, fingers crossed we can clear this and it will stay clear as well.
Exactly, man, exactly. Right, I'm gonna go get my picker, which is over there, and my bag. We're gonna go and clear upstream. Yeah, I'll work my way that way, mate, yeah. Oh, a bit soft, that bank there. There's another one. Well, I've just finished cleaning up this beautiful river with Oli, and we're going to reward ourselves with a little bit of fishing. Now, as you guys out there will know that's been following my channel, and if you are following my channel, make sure you give it a thumbs up and a subscribe, please. Helps the old YouTube algorithm. I'm doing a challenge this year where I'm using one rod, which is a 10-foot SD carp rod from South Coast Rods, to catch as many different species as I can. Now, I've already had barbel, chub, sea species as well, whiting, dogfish, that sort of thing. But one thing that I haven't caught so far are some smaller river species like dace, roach, maybe a small chub, something like that. Even a gudgeon or a minnow would be pretty cool. Now, you wouldn't normally use this type of rod. It's far too stiff and heavy for what you traditionally use to go trotting on a river. However, this is the challenge, people. This is what I'm doing this year. I'm seeing if I can use my fishing nonce to actually catch as many species as I can. So I've set it up with a stick float, a little stick float on there. The most important part of your fishing is like the last 12 inches. So I've got 2.5 pound line, a little size 18 hook on there. I'm going to feed the swim. I've got this beautiful glide behind me here that runs down. I'm just going to trot through the center of that there. I'm feeding it. I'm going to feed it for around about 5 minutes before I run the float through to start with. Try and get the fish confident and feeding there. And we'll see how we go. But I've had a wonderful day up here with Oli. We've picked up 4 full bags of rubbish, done our little bit for the environment, and hopefully it inspires you out there to do the same. But now let's see if the fish gods are shining on me. Let's go and see if I can catch a big old dace. Would be nice. Well, as you can see, I'm just feeding the swim with some mixed maggots here. Just putting in around about a dozen maggots at a time. Just into this centre crease, just there. And then it's going to come through. There's a nice clean gravel run. I can see it with the Polaroids on. And in a second I'm going to quietly climb down here with the waders on, stand there and then just trot the float through. I'm going to keep feeding for another 5 minutes, see if I can get the confidence, and then see if we can catch a dace. Oh, it's taking line. This has got to be a chub. Oh my God, this feels horrible. Oh, it's gone. It's not going to plan, people. I hooked 2 fish at the very bottom of the run near this snag tree. And both of them have been just bang, 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 bang. That last one had it on there, it's taken a little bit of line and it actually ended up doing me in the far bank snags, like right underneath the bushes on the far bank, and snapping the hook link, but not really much I can do about it. Pretty sure it's chub. You know, that if that was a dace, that was a British record dace by for sure. But that's a shame. Anyway, what I'm going to do now is have a little rest. I'm going to feed the swim a little bit more. If that is chub, then they're going to spook each other if there's a shoulder chub down there. So I'm going to keep feeding it, give it a little rest for 5 minutes, and then put the float back through. Hopefully, get one of these fish on the bank. We've got a fish on of some description. What have we got? What have we got? What is this, people? We have got... I think that's a little dace. It is. Yeah, look. Nice little dace. First one of those this year. Looks like he's had a run in with a pike at some time. We're going to unhook him, just keep him in the net. But yeah, if that's what a dace felt like, then that last fish was definitely a big old chub. Let's get him unhooked, put him in the net, see if we can catch some more. There we go, got another fish. What is this one? Got another dace. Yes, check that out. Another species off the list. I've got a beautiful gudgeon. One of my favourite little species. How are we doing, Ollie? All right? I am doing all right. I've just had my first little gudgeon.
Nice.
There we go. How'd you get on, mate? Chub, roach and dace, have you? That's a lovely one. I've got a bag of dace in here. We've had an absolutely awesome day up here with Ollie, going around and picking up some litter, doing our bit for the environment, trying to raise awareness for what we as anglers can do to keep these rivers beautiful and clean for the next generation of anglers coming through. And the fish gods were smiling down. I've got a beautiful bag here of dace with one lonely gudgeon as well. That's probably the best dace of the day. So that's a nice, I don't know.
Good, mate. Yeah, 6 ounces, 8 ounces. Yeah.
Yep, 6 or 8 ounce fish. And one of my favourite fish, a little gudgeon, because that's one of the first fish that I ever caught as well. So you're gonna slip these back to grow big and fight another day. We're gonna go back, get a cup of tea, have a little natter, and I'm gonna get on the road and get back home. But hopefully you've enjoyed this. And remember, there's also loads of little rivers and streams near you that you can go and fish. Just check the permissions before you fish it. There's a closed season on rivers in the UK, so remember that one as well. But little places like this are hidden gems. It doesn't all have to be day ticket carping up and down the country. You can find yourself a little hidden gem like this, spend the winter tucked away on a little river catching dace, roach, grayling, all sorts of species, and giving you that fishing fix during the winter. Well, we're back after a wonderful day of litter picking with a little bit of fishing thrown in at the end.
So brief. I know it's a shame that you had to shoot off early, G, because we had literally an hour's fishing at the end.
That's it. But an hour, and it was a good hour's fishing because we caught some dace, we caught some gudgeon, you had some roach, a chub as well.
Yeah.
It just goes to show what's inside these little hidden gems of waterways within inside cities, and you know around that. It was right.
I mean, it's semi-urban. It runs through an industrial estate. It runs off the canal, yeah, and then onto moorland, and then eventually back into the canal, that river. Yeah. And if you look at it, it looks like the most pristine chalk stream that you find anywhere in the world. It looked like a river test, to be honest with you. Yeah, it was superb, and that's why it's really important that we keep it looking like that. And we picked up one of the interesting things that really stuck in my mind about today is that we picked up 7 bags of rubbish from around, and that was in a stretch of no more than 100 metres. Oh, look, we didn't even scratch the surface. No. You know, 7 bags, okay, we've cleared a few little bits, but it's quite mind-boggling the amount of discarded rubbish that there is out there in the world. And that's what I was just going to say. It's not just around our lakes and rivers, is that actually once you start taking the blinkers off and you start looking around you, like as we're driving from venue to venue, I'm looking on the sides of the roads, I'm looking in the parks, I'm just like, it's everywhere. I think we're all a bit desensitised to it in the urban environment. You know, you're just used to it. It's been there our whole lives. People drop rubbish. Someone's there to pick it up. The trouble is, in today's world, all those services have been cut to the bone. There's no one to pick it up. No. There is nobody out there picking rubbish up. So you've got, unless you've got a street cleaner which is looking after your area, everything else. Yeah, and that's very interesting because one of the members of the public that's walking past, and she got talking, she was with her husband walking along, and she was saying, oh, well done guys, it's a really sort of commendable job that you're doing. She said, it's a shame that the funding's been cut back so much for our canals network. And I turned around and said, well, it has been cut back, the funding's been cut back, but we can't be reliant on funding anymore. You can't just be saying this is someone else's problem to go and pick this up, or we need more funding to pay for people to do that. What I saw today, the problem is much bigger than that. We actually as a society need to be thinking, you know what, I'm going to take it upon myself, other people need to take it upon themselves and change the habits, question what people are doing, and actually just start to make a difference ourselves. It's funny, somebody commented on my story the other day about, I'd like to see you fishing instead of showing us videos of your community service. And people see it as like a penalty. I don't. I get immense satisfaction out of leaving somewhere better than I found it. And I think it really, it's rewarding when you go out fishing afterwards and you catch fish and you've kind of earned it. Exactly. You feel much more of that you've been accepted. How can I put it? You've taken some kind of ownership over the waterway that you're fishing, and you're becoming part of that sort of community around the waterway. I think that's really important. Maybe we need to start some kind of campaign whereby rather than just people on Instagram posting pictures of like their biggest fish, big perch, maybe it's sort of like we need to start something where it's like, look at this big old haul of rubbish that I've had out of it. I'd like to see a few more people with high profiles actually get out there and do a bit. And I know people do, you know, have commitments, but it doesn't take long, and it's, you know, it really does make a difference. I've had a lot of people come up to me recently at shows, for instance, and it's been really heartening that they've had some positive words and they've been inspired themselves, a lot of them. So, you know, I know that I am making a difference, only a little difference in my world, but if that trickles out and everybody does a little bit, you know,
mate, you've hit the nail on the head. It's just having a little bit of influence over people, you know, to get out there and showcase. Honestly, everyone watching this out there, I really enjoyed what we did. It wasn't like community service. It wasn't like I was being told to go and do, you know, something I don't want to do. I really, really enjoyed my day that I spent.
You become like a dog with a bone. Like if you see a bit of litter that you can't get to, you'll do everything you can to get that little piece. You know, it's quite satisfying.
Yeah, no, when you walk away and you're like, this is a beautiful spot to go fishing on. You know. You know,
where I took you today, G, the swim that you fished in, it was a horrible state a month ago. I turned up and I fished amongst it for a day, and I was so disgusted that I came back the following day and I cleared it all up. And big ups to Neil, who lives opposite, who let me dispose of the rubbish in his bin. Thanks, mate. But, yeah, I mean, you know, he'd complained about it and said, oh, you know, it's terrible the people leaving litter there. But, you know, if you live nearby, then there's nothing to stop you from taking it upon yourself. To do a little bit.
Exactly, it's not just an angler's responsibility.
It's your world, it's your area, it's your, you know, I do it in my favourite places because I like to go there and I like to not be disgusted. So
exactly. Well, just to wrap this one up, just to remind people out there are campaigns that you can sign up to, promote, get involved with. We've got, just to get my little sticker here, the Anglers Against Pollution. That's one of the Angling Trust campaigns. They also have the Take 5 campaign. You've got the Keep Britain Tidy campaign.
I'd really like to see that being brought back up into, you know, something that is a bit more of a higher profile, you know, public thing. It's there's so much other nonsense going on in the world today that the really important things like the sewage going in our rivers and the state of the world that we live in is kind of brushed aside when it comes to voting time. You know, when it comes to casting your vote, remember the people who did us wrong, you know, the people who voted to allow sewage. And
it's, I'm sure we can do another bit of film another day that's more focused around the actual pollution, sewage problem.
I mean, that's another.
We could sit here for another,
issue,
you know,
for sure. And I don't want it to be negative. Like, I don't want my social media to be filled with me moaning about, because, you know, the rivers are in a great condition. We need to be looking after them and preserving that. You know, the fish that we caught today, fantastic days, big chub, roach. You know, I photographed a 19-pound barbel yesterday.
That's awesome.
You know, like we're in a golden era if we look after our waterways.
Come together as a community, look after stuff, and if we are using those campaign hashtags and stuff, it shows solidarity amongst anglers, doesn't it? And that's the ticket.
It's something we can all get behind.
You don't just want to be seen as 3 people going out and doing this in a certain area and a few people going and doing that. We need to be shown as being a collective that's saying, look at what we are as anglers, you know, and I think that's really important. But anyway, thank you very much, mate. It's been an absolute pleasure. And I will do. I'm going to get back to Brighton now, but yeah, it's been an absolute pleasure, and hopefully you've enjoyed watching this. Catch up with you guys soon.
See you later.